How y'all doing? I'm gonna give you a look-see on me mounting a 1936 one-ton truck master cylinder on a 25 Chrysler. So this is sort of a hoot. There's a lot of things you had to do to make it work, but it wasn't really complicated once you figure it out. Let me give you a look. All right, here is this come out of a 1936 one-ton Chevy truck, and it was the right bore. So this is what I'm working with. So I had to make a little adapter plate, made it out of aluminum. That's where it bolts. See how it's done? So I just bolted it to this plate. Pretty straightforward, but it took a minute to figure it out, to get everything aligned. And then this is where it bolts down here to this plate here. So when I get through with it, it's going to sit just like that, which is pretty good. It's clear and it's out of the way. You know, as long as we don't have any issues with marrying up all this stuff. This was the only hoot to make. This mess here. Yeah, it's a bracket I had to make to adapt it to the pedal. Of course, you want to make it as strong as you can. Oh man, there you go. I'm gonna wonder if it was gonna focus or not. But I think it's pretty strong. I bolted up with a case 8 bolt and a couple lock washers and a Teflon locking nut to keep it from backing off. Double nut it. So I think it'll work. We'll know when we stab the brakes and I go through the red light. So we'll just have to wait and see how that works. But this is what I'm going to do tomorrow, is because it's late in the day and it's raining and nasty, so I said to heck with it, I'm ready to go in. I've got my off and on switch put in for the batteries. That's under the seat. And this is another 6 volt that goes over here. I pulled it out to fool with this thing. I went yesterday and I got all my material for the seats. And that was about $300 worth of foam and padding and vinyl and all the other stuff that it's going to take to do the interior in this. So this ought to be a hoot when I get ready to do that, because I am not an interior guy, but heck, I want to make the car look old. So I figured if I do it, it's going to look old. So that's what we're going to do. But I guess that's about all I've done. I've completely destroyed my bench fooling with this thing, because I've tried it and fit it a couple of times to get it to work and had to make bolts. I couldn't find a couple of bolts that would work for it, so I made some. The head had to be a little weird because of the plate in there. Because one bolt is against that plate, so I had to make something, but it worked out okay. So I guess once I get the brakes in, or the master cylinder, I've got to do some work on some of the brake lines, because I've got one that's back in here under all this mess, and it's got a ferrule that's split, so I've got to fix that. And then I guess I'll blow the lines out and clear them. And if I have any kind of pedal, or if it looks good, then I can walk away from the brakes and start doing the electrics on this. That's what I'm sort of looking forward to. I'm going to have to make this little handle here, which is the off and on. And I'll just make it out of aluminum and make it look somewhat like this maybe. Because like I said, you can't get anything for this. So I'll just make everything. And it'll probably be crude enough to think somebody made it back in the olden days with a rock and a screwdriver. So it'll be all right. So the engine turns over and I've got her plumbed with oil. And I think I actually figured out how to put a remote filter on this. I looked on a couple other cars and they had a big old filter up here, and what they did is they returned it back into this line here, which is plugged off. So they came off of this and went back into there. So that's exactly what I think I'm going to do, and put a filter under this car, because I like running a filter. That way I can use regular oil and I don't have to use non-detergent. This motor isn't sludged up like you would think from being 100 years old almost, because I had the pan off and I cleaned it. So I don't think I'm too worried about the regular motor oil washing it out too bad. So I think I'll be okay. I haven't taken these covers off, and I'm not going to. So if there's something in there that's sludged up, it'll just have to go through the filter. But that's, I guess, pretty much where we are. I've been on this brake booster all day. I got it in the mail just yesterday. And so I think we're going to be good. Spend all day tomorrow maybe finishing it up, getting the brakes on. So, you know, it's pretty hard to make actually a video of me working on anything, because it seems like you do one little thing and it takes you 10 hours. You know, it just wouldn't work. I'm too slow. If I was faster, it'd be okay, but I'm just too slow. All right, well, I've talked enough, and I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk. So there we are. When I get ready to do the interior, and after I get through cutting up all the material, we can all have a laugh. All right, so until I do the interior, I'll see y'all later. Bye.